So without further ado, I'm very pleased to introduce the next coach of Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin.
Good afternoon. I think first and foremost, my wife and I would like to give honor and thanks to God for opening this door for our family, bringing us to this great city of Pittsburgh. Without a doubt, we'd like to thank the Rooney family for having interest in us and allowing me to take part in this process and naming me head coach. It's a great honor to be a part of one of the most storied franchises in all of professional sports. We're coming to grips with what that means, but we're having fun. We intend to make no bold predictions about what we're going to do. What we are going to do is promise to have a first-class blue-collar work ethic and how we approach our business. I'll address any questions that you might have at this time.
Mike, did anything surprise you about the process, the interview process from start to finish? And would you have been surprised at the beginning of the process at what happened, at what is happening right now?
Nothing really surprised me about the process. I think just because I was personally prepared for anything. It was parts unknown, if you will. So that's the way I approached it, and really I wasn't too much surprised by anything.
Mike, your two predecessors both came in following bad downtimes for the franchise. Your situation is a little bit different because it's only 2 years removed from a Super Bowl. Do you feel any extra pressure? Because a lot of times when a coach comes in, they're given a little bit of slack and a little bit of leeway because they're rebuilding, but you're not really going to have that luxury.
There's pressure. We all feel a little pressure in this business, but that's part of the reason why we do what we do. We embrace that. I embrace that, and look forward to meeting those challenges.
Mike, Tony Dungy spoke very highly of you, and when you came in as when you were being interviewed as head coach, what are your thoughts on Tony Dungy? Have you spoken with him over the past weekend or prior to being named head coach?
We don't have enough time for me to talk about how I feel about Coach Dungy, but very happy for him and Lovie Smith with what transpired yesterday. Two deserving men. My relationship of respect and admiration for Coach Dungy goes beyond football. He's a life mentor for me, and I think I'll just leave it at that.
Mike, there's already been a report that you're going to retain Dick LeBeau. Can you confirm that? Can you talk about any assistant coaches you may keep here or what your plan is?
I will confirm that, but in terms of talking about other assistants, I don't want to get too far down the line in terms of discussing that. I think it's going to take some discussion and planning from a lot of people. But yes, anybody in this business knows and has a great deal of respect for Coach LeBeau, and I look forward to having the opportunity to work with him.
Having said that, Mike, he runs the zone blitz and you run the 4-3 cover too. How does that work? How do you plan on making that work this year?
I think part of good coaching is doing what your guys do and what they do well. We'll maximize what they're capable of doing, and if that means setting some personal preferences and beliefs schematically aside, I'm willing to do that. X's and O's can be overrated at times. You'll find that we'll be fundamentalists in our approach, and we'll put guys in position to execute at a high level.
Are you less
capable of doing? That's what we'll do.
I'm sorry. Are you less likely to make those changes because you're not in a rebuilding mode and you've got a team, 3 AFC Championship game appearances in the last 6 years?
I really think you just look at your personnel and what they do well and what puts them in position to win. And obviously, retaining Coach LeBeau is a big part of that.
Mike, what do you like most about this team that you have right now?
Guy, but what kind of offense would you like to see?
Fundamentalist football team that wins by attrition, that's mentally and physically tough. Of course, there's no secret in the National Football League. In order to win, you got to stop the run. You got to run the ball effectively. I think to be general, that's what our football team is about.
This organization has had a history of being patient with coaches. They stay here for a while. Was that part of the intrigue of maybe coming here for you?
I'm not a very patient person. I don't know anybody that's successful in this business from a coaching standpoint that's very patient. I'm working on it, but that's exciting. Having an opportunity, to have a place where your kids can grow up and call home, and particularly a place like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is awesome.
Are you as calm inside as you appear to be outside? Is this situation at all overwhelming for you, Mike?
I always slow it down because I don't want to miss something. I like to take moments like these in. I'm truly blessed to be here. I know this is not my plan. This is God's plan. So I find comfort in that.
Mike, what do you like most about this team that you're inheriting right now?
That they are physically and mentally tough. They have a reputation for being that. Got some quality players. Their resume speaks for themselves, and I'm sure that the recent Super Bowl success and failure that followed will make them a hungry group of men.
There are quite a few guys on this team who are not that much younger than you are. I looked at a list of about 10 or 11 guys who are between 30, 32 years old. What have you thought about how you're going to deal with guys and getting their respect, and how you would have reacted as a player to a coach who's almost the same age as you are?
I don't think it'll take them long to realize that my goals as a coach are no different than any other coach they've ever had. I think mutual respect is required. I've got a job to do from a coaching standpoint. They've got a job to do from a playing standpoint. My age is my age. I've never had a problem with men. When I broke into the league, I coached John Lynch. John is older than me. So, I don't anticipate it being a problem. And really, more than anything, I just look forward to getting to know the men and moving forward.
Mike, can you talk about the significance of the last 24 hours where there's two African-American coaches in the Super Bowl, and now an African-American coach becomes the coach of one of the most storied franchises in sports?
I acknowledge that it is significant. I'm just happy for those men because I know them personally. They've been very supportive and active in my development as a coach and as a man. I'm happy for them because I know them. I guess we'll make true advances in this process when it's no longer an issue. And I know that Coach Dungy has said that on several occasions. But I think on a personal level, I'm just happy for those men because I know what kind of men they are. I know what kind of coaches they are. I know how they approach their jobs, and they deserve what they get.
Coach, we understand your brother's watching the press conference on the web. What type of impact has he had and your family, your immediate family, and your brothers had on you as you go into this new role?
Well, my brother is my big brother, and everyone that has one, they understand what that's about. He was a measuring stick for everything that I did athletically. He drove me in just about every way, and we've always had that relationship. And I'm happy that he can feel a part of that. He should feel a part of that. Some of my toughest battles were in my backyard. That's the way it should be.
How was your immediate family, your children and your wife? How were they involved in this process, and how excited are they about this opportunity for their dad?
That's how we make decisions. We make decisions as a family. Our children are probably too young right now to be actively involved in some of those things, but my wife and I, we talk quite a bit, and we talk about not only what's good for us, what's good for me professionally, but what's good for our children. I think that's the number one job that we have here, and we know what living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is about for a family.
Mike, another question about the interview process, please. Specifically the last few days, was it ever as confusing for you as it might have been for people out there with a lot of twists and turns? And did you ever get the feeling that there were ups and downs on your end?
Not confusing for me. The rulers were very upfront about the process and where it was going and how it was going. At times I thought some of the reports or false reports were comical. It wasn't necessarily funny when they weren't going in my favor. But, it's part of the process. I understand that, and really. The two men competing yesterday and what happened in the NFL this weekend was a nice diversion for us. We sat in the basement and cheered for Coach Dungy and Coach Smith.
Mike, can you talk about your sideline demeanor? We've had Coach Cowher with the jaw and an occasional saliva shower. What are you like on sidelines?
I probably couldn't answer that. You probably got to ask those who are around me. I don't pay attention to how I behave. I just try to be myself. I can be emotional at times, I guess, but for the most part, I tend to lean on the side of being calm because I like to think clearly at times like that.
Mike, you talk about the fact that you're 34 but not that young as a football coach?
I'm sorry?
The fact that you're 34 years old, but as a football coach, you're not that young.
Well, every day I go to work, I look to learn, and I've been blessed enough to be around some great coaches and some great strategists, some great leaders of men. I feel like I learned a lot from all those people, but at the same time, I realize that I have to be myself. I am who I am as a coach, and I don't